Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. We're back in our ongoing series on human resources, on jobs and employment, on how to treat people well with Julie Thiel.
That's
of
right.
the
We're back. Yes.
Company.
Good to be back with you again today, Doug. So, Julie Thiel, for those that don't know me, TTS Company, we do HR consulting to help you for people to help remove the people bottlenecks that come up when you're growing. So, really fun work and excited to be on here again today to talk about more leadership topics.
And the leadership topic is the best employees need coaching. So, but the employee is already the best. So why do I need to coach the best employee? So I don't know.
Well, I think when people think about giving feedback and coaching, that always feels like someone's done something wrong. And yes, let's I'm going to be honest, you do need to let someone know if they're doing something where they need to have more accountability, feedback, that they're not doing something right. But I think what gets missed a lot of times is when you have someone that's high performing and doing well. I think there's actually even more kind of bang for the buck on a conversation that you have with an achieving employee about what they can do to take it to the next level. Maybe you have a potential promotion in mind. Maybe you have bigger clients, harder, challenges in mind for that employee. But, every high performer has blind spots. And, as a leader, you see that and you're in a position to give feedback, and you should coach those employees.
So, you know what? It just occurred to me, we had this sort of run up to this conversation. In some companies, in some corporate cultures, let's say,
Yes.
The word coaching has almost been possibly weaponized. Can we say that? So, in other words, in the effort to make candy coat all the words about, in a sense, disciplining employees,
sure,
I have a feeling the word coaching has been thrown in there by people sometimes saying, well, Julie, maybe we should do a little bit more coaching with you. In other words, the message is coaching is a bad thing. You don't want to be coached.
For sure. And, this is why I don't want to get too caught up on the terminology, but whatever you want to call it, whether I just tend to say coaching because that does feel more positive to me than like feedback or I don't know, those types of things. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there are some corporate cultures that talk about negative feedback under this kind of umbrella of the word coaching. So what I think, what I'm hoping to kind of bring to the forefront today is you've got good people, and leadership and really developing people comes through conversation. It's like I feel like good leadership is one good conversation after another because it happens in that interaction you have with people. And I'm hoping when people are listening to this today, they're thinking of, okay, there's that one employee that's doing so well. Have I really sat down and given that person the encouragement, the insights they might need to go to the next level? And that is one thing you don't want to miss.
So, yeah, I was sort of going in the direction of it's possible that even as employers, as supervisors, as managers, we've maybe sometimes used coaching only for people that are needing real help, as opposed to thinking of coaching as a great thing for people that are already succeeding.
I think it tends to be kind of that idea of the squeaky wheel. We're all busy. We're all busy. No one has a lot of extra time. And it is easy to lean harder into, okay, that person needs my help. That person is, not performing. I need to help pull them up. So it is easy to put all your time there. And I just think if you're doing that, you're missing out because I think one of the biggest challenges is we often just take for granted that high performers or people that are contributing at a high level, that they're going to continue to do it, and that we often assume they know they're doing a good job. And I don't think we can assume that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And that's where you have to be intentional about, I want to talk to you about what you're doing well and what I think could even make you even more like you're fantastic now. Let's make you even better. So, yeah.
So, Julie, let's say you're my best employee. You're my best salesperson. And maybe I've actually told other people in the organization, basically, look at Julie,
Mhm.
the things she's doing. Maybe that's the model to success. Having done that, why do I need to coach Julie?
Yeah, it's that idea of, people, they can't read your mind. And your top people are the ones in many cases that are, they're working extra. They're often given the hardest projects.
Right.
They like those challenges usually. I mean, usually like they're like signing up for the hardest challenge or the bigger jobs. And they often have aspirations to go to the next level. Maybe they're a technical person that wants to lead a team eventually. And so you've got this person that's just achieving, achieving, achieving. And there's oftentimes things that that person can be doing or should be doing to get ready for that job they want. And it takes time as a manager to kind of look at that person and say, okay, they're doing such a good job now. What is the gap between where they're at and where they want to be? And versus where they're at is great, but they
Right.
want to be over here. What's that gap that's going to get them from
Mm.
today to the future? And sometimes that's not intuitive. And in fact, I know I told you I had a story on this. So I'm going to tell you my story on this.
Okay.
So I was one of those like all in overachievers in corporate America. And my boss sat me down one day and she's like, Julie, you have gotten where you are today by doing 110% all the time. And that's what I would do. That's how I operated. I would do the job and then I'd think of extra and I'd always take it up a notch. And that is great as an individual contributor. And she said to me, I love what you're doing. You're doing great. However, you want to be a manager. You want to take on more. You want to be responsible for other people's performance eventually. And she said, if you go into that management job and you continue at that 110% pace, she's like, you're going to burn out and you're going to burn out everyone that works for you. And I was like, really? Like it just was at the time, it just kind of blew my mind because at first it kind of hurt my feelings. I'm like, what do you mean? Are you saying that I need to do less than my best work? That was kind of my,
Hmm.
kind of defensive reaction at the time. But the truth is, she said, no, this is what it is, Julie. She's like, you will always have more work than you're able to do. And at every level you go up, there will always be more work than you can do. And that's true in corporate. That's true with entrepreneurs, both sides. And she said, you've got to pick and choose what's good enough. She said, your good enough is probably 80% of what you're doing today. Like you could do what feels like 80% of the job and most people think that's 100%. She's like
Right.
you need to modify how you look at things and know when to pick good enough. When do you do 60%? Where do you do 80%? Where do you do 110%? She's like, otherwise you're going to run yourself into the ground. So it was this really important conversation for me. And it wasn't about developing me where I was at, it was about developing me for the future. And I'm so grateful. It kind of, again, like it kind of hurt my feelings at the time. I didn't walk away from that feeling wonderful because I was like, oh, I got some stuff I got to work on. But it was critical for me to get ready for the whole management career I've had ever since. And it was really, really important. So I think that's all of us have those experiences. And again, I think as a leader, you've got to think back and go, what made a difference for me? And
Hmm.
then how do I pay that forward to get you ready for the next
Hmm.
level? So, and we were talking before, I'm not sure if you have a story, Doug, of a conversation that changed your career. I'd love to hear. I'm flipping the
I
tables
know, I
on
know it
Doug
is.
here. I'm
It's
asking
no
you the question
fair, no
now.
fair. Time out, no fair. I get to ask the questions. So yeah, Julie and I had a pleasant chat, and I related a story a long time ago, a non-media story. The one time I was not in media, to a time when I was there, and I had a manager, and I was what, 23, 24, whining about underperforming department, and I got the speech. which
Mhm.
was, but it was, I've lived with that advice all the time, which is, hey, we give you a staff, we give you inventory, we give you a place of business, we give you every single resource you would need to succeed. You don't have to go out and borrow money to do this. You don't have to hire the people.
Sure,
It's all
sure.
here for you.
It's like, here's the
Yeah,
opportunity.
that's it. Where it's right in front of
Yep,
you, and
yep.
you know, TV. At the time, advertising. I mean, you know, like in other words, behind me was this multi-million-dollar
Mhm.
organization,
Yes.
but yeah, you have the responsibility of delivering results with these resources.
Mhm.
So, working on your own, it's the same thing, right? In other words, what I got from that
Sure.
is, yeah, of course, right, of course, right? You cannot just, maybe by accident it'll all come together.
Yeah, you've
A
gotta be
person that,
intentional. Absolutely.
yeah,
You've got the resources. What are you gonna do with them? That was
yeah,
the kind of the mic drop moment that you
oh,
had of like, "Oh,
exactly.
okay, what am I gonna do with what I've been given?" Right?
E-
So, great
e-
feedback.
Even as a journalist too, just think
Mhm,
about this. Think about, you're in Minneapolis. There's all those beautiful buildings downtown and so on.
mhm.
There have been extremely successful businesses in those buildings, and some businesses in the same building that have failed, right?
Sure,
The
sure.
same place, same address,
Yeah.
same everything, same
Mhm,
city, same
mhm,
time period, right? Same pool
mhm.
of people that they, why did one succeed and one fail? Now, of course, it's complicated. I know there's technology and all sorts of other
There's
stuff, but
sure.
it's all people, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, the other
exactly.
thing is in technology, yeah, yes, 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 yes. In our
Mhm.
industry, for example, some people come up with something that doesn't feel whatever, but ultimately, it's all people based,
That's
right?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So,
Whether you're
yeah,
making cars or
absolutely.
widgets or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that I want to I mean, usually you can pull from your own experience as you're growing as a manager and
right,
say, okay, when I was that person that I'm working with, what was useful for me? And it's just, we just get so busy, we don't stop to think, like, gosh, I've got this top performer. Have I told them they're a great performer? Have I told them, like, I
right,
see you, like the potential I see? Have I told them, hey, what you're doing is working for you now, but it won't over here, and let's talk about how to get you ready for that. Because that is really, at the end of the day, that is where, again, relationships are built, trust is
right,
built. I think that's where high performance comes from, is that feeling heard, feeling like someone cares. And that, and then again, you don't have to be perfect at the conversation either.
right,
You can go into it a little messy and be like, I'm not sure exactly, but here's what I'm kind of seeing. You can have a conversation about it and still make a positive impact. And hopefully you've talked about what they want out of their career. So that's critical too. You have to say, okay, maybe that person really is happy being the expert. They want to stay the expert. Great. Let's talk about how we make you the best expert that this company has. We'll make you the technical fellow of this group. So there's ways that you can do that that I think are customized to that person.
Julia, are there specific topics so that the conversation, like, stays on track, doesn't go
Um,
south and all that?
well, I think again, you have to pick your timing. If somebody is coming off of like what happened with me, that was, I had just created this, like, at the time, I know there's technology has changed, but at the time I just created this really complicated. I had learned like minor programming skills in an Excel spreadsheet with if then statements and all these things. I had just over delivered on this like really fancy spreadsheet. Okay. And I was so excited. I brought it to my boss and I'm like, look at this amazing thing that I just did all this extra work to create. And she kind of was like, ah, it's kind of like at the time,
You felt defeated.
yeah, yeah, she was just like, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with you?" Like, one more
Yeah,
time, I'm coming in with some shiny object, and so she did, she did kind of burst my bubble a little bit,
right,
but I look back and I go, "What was she gonna do?" I mean, it's like, I was just, she needed to channel me in a different way, And there was not going to be any, I don't think, super graceful way to do that. And here's the thing, I knew she cared about me. Like I knew I had
Mhm.
no question. We had built a good relationship. I knew she cared about
Mm.
me. So everything she said, I knew always came from a point of caring. And that's what really made it palatable in the end. Was I'm
Julie,
like, this person cares. So yeah.
I think I just heard a big element that happens maybe before the conversation, which is trust.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. You can't
So
just walk in sight unseen, not having talked to someone for months and sit them down and have this conversation. Yeah, this
right.
is this is a bunch of smaller conversations over time that lead to really leaning in to help someone grow to the next level. So,
As we close up our podcast, is there anything someone should remember when they're having this chat?
I think that um what you're really trying to do in this chat is helping someone see themselves and their future a little bit differently. In my mind, that's what success is kind of you're like opening the door to a future or way of operating. Like what I got out of that conversation, what happened to me was I saw myself a little bit differently. It's like, okay, well, I probably am going to have to operate differently, at that next level. And it just got me thinking and open to a different version of myself.
Hmm.
And I think that's the goal in this is you're just trying to crack open a door that starts opening a new set of possibilities for the person on operating in a new way. And I think that is at the end of the day what's really meaningful. And um, if you believe someone has that leadership potential, invest in them. Invest in them. Don't wait for them to ask. I think you need to invest in them because I have gone to people and said, I think you'd be a great manager. And they're like, what, me? And it's like, let me tell you why. List it, list it, list it. And eventually that person was like, huh, I never thought of myself that way. It's like, okay. And then again, picked it up later and kept having the conversation. And it's just amazing to see people kind of open up to possibilities that they hadn't thought of before.
Julie, as ever, I learn something every time we do this. It's amazing. I'm sorry we're sort of out of time.
No,
Where
that's
can we
great.
learn more? Where can we learn more?
Absolutely. So you can find me. I'm on LinkedIn, Julie Thiel, Thiel, as you saw. My company is right here. You're seeing the TTScompany.com. If you are really relating to this leadership development content that we're talking about, I'm in the process of launching a leadership development community called the Vault. And the Vault is going to be, it's available getting ready to launch. We're looking for people to join the wait list to become part of it. But it's a place where we're going to have community, ongoing training, daily, weekly challenges for you to learn new skills and to kind of keep you on track with becoming the leader that your team deserves. I mean, it's like, I know we all aspire to be that leader. And this is a way where I'm in approvals for it to become an app, whether it's on your computer or a phone. It's a way to stay up with your own development and do it in a way that's manageable, bite-sized, and fits into your day. So find out more about the Vault. If you go to the ttscompany.com, we have a tab called the Vault. Learn more and join our wait list.
Julie, again, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.